morning, ladies and gentlemen. Remember the man who eradicated the planet of passwords. So I'm here to represent PixelPin. PixelPin is a simple concept. You use a picture, any picture, a personal picture, a family picture, a sporting scene picture. You pick 4 points on that, and that does away with passwords. But I know lots of people here know the problems of passwords. But did you know that almost 10% of passwords on the planet are password 123? Did you know that password failure and the failure to look after private data is costing companies money, revenue, and legal action against them? It's also costing CEOs and CIOs their jobs. If you remember Target last year. Also, horrendously, 99.8% of all passwords on the planet are currently compromised. They're on hackers' lists, dictionary lists around the world. It just doesn't work. Now let me ask you a question. If I was to come to your CEO and say, we'd like to make our subscribers' user journey more enjoyable. We'd like to be able to reduce churn for our subscribers. We want to increase security for ourselves and also for our subscribers. We want to reduce OpEx and reduce fraud. But most importantly, we want to increase profits. Now, what CEO would not be interested in that? Now, let's talk a little bit about the alternatives. So the alternatives, biometrics, are interesting solutions. Sadly, they require additional hardware. They're expensive, and they're not backwards compatible to the billions of smartphones, tablet devices, and things like that that people will be using for their second screen. And sadly, I have to report to you, they're already compromised. PixelPin is easier to use. It's far more secure, and it is the best user experience on the planet. And we use military-grade encryption with all of our data. So how does it work? You see the PixelPin sign. You click on it, your image comes up, you click on the 4 points that you've chosen, and that's you authenticated. But it gets better than that. It's the same user experience on a PC using a mouse, a tablet device, or a smartphone using your finger. Here's an ISP in the UK that we're working with at present. So the last holiday I went on in Europe, I've chosen 4 points in sequence to be able to authenticate. And that's me done. It is as simple as that. However, we often get asked, well, how secure is an image? Well, let's put it into perspective. If we think of a 4-digit PIN being the size of the moon, and a good password being the size of the Earth, PixelPin is orders of magnitude more complicated and can be considered the size of the sun. So a step function increase in security. I'm putting this up just to say that for the last 40-odd years, as an ex-soldier and then working in industry, in military communications, surveillance systems, down the road with Northrop Grumman on Joint Stars, things like that, security, encryption, and privacy course through my veins. And that is the core of what PixelPin does. So consider the cable companies that have public hotspots. What a pain it is to actually use a password to get onto a mobile device. So what about using PixelPin? I've been parachuting. I pick my 4 favorite points. I successfully log in, and I can now go on to purchase and do whatever I want. So to summarize, why PixelPin works for this audience in particular. The user experience is second to none. There are no passwords, and importantly, very importantly, there's a degree of academia out there that talks about pictorial superiority effect. That basically means we're wired visually. When you use a personal image, you do not forget those points. If you look at my personal image, it's meaningless to you. Security, as I've mentioned, we don't just say we're good. We give our code, and we are penetration tested to NSA and GCHQ standards. And what's better still is that the end user changes their image in the order of every 6 to 10 weeks. That's a security policy that is impossible to get the general public to adhere to. I'm sure you don't like changing your passwords when you're told to at work. As we said, the commercial benefits, which are ultimately important, the reduced churn, reduced password reset costs, and most important, the loss of login failures, and adding everything to that bottom line. I'd like to show a quick demo now of the device in action. So this is a demo that we've done for a Belgique bank, and I'm going to log in using my PixelPin. So last year I was very fortunate to spend some time in California with CTIA, and I did a road trip. So I've chosen 4 points in sequence on that image. Where do you think that I've chosen? It's your choice. Well, I'll put you at your ease. I've chosen there, 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 and there. And that's me logged into my bank account. It would be exactly the same for a subscriber. Finally, our commercial basis is we are a business-to-business sale. So we sell into the providers and give that unique user experience to your end users. So, if you're interested, we certainly are interested in being here, and you'd like to learn more, to do some trials, or to do business, please come and join us next door at the Tech Stadium. Thank you very much indeed.